Hi, my name is Dara Thomason, and this is episode 232, our very special holiday edition. I'm going to give you the gift of permanent weight loss. So if you have struggled with this dilemma of knowing what you should eat, but not following through, making such good plans, such good intentions, I'm not going to eat this, I'm going to get rid of all the sugar in my house and I will be so good, and then end up finding yourself in the drive-thru or maybe baking, don't worry, I got you. After struggling with my weight since my early 20s, I have now cracked the code of permanent weight loss, and it came in a way that I never expected. And so now I have the honor and privilege of helping so many women learn the same foundation, understanding, so that they can create their own permanent weight loss success, just like I've experienced since 2019. So if you are ready to stop wasting time on apps, stop wasting time on Pinterest boards and researching and buying the next diet, then I'm so glad you're here, because I'm so glad that I was able to get out of that good student mode and finally learn what really worked for weight loss once and for all. Now, full caveat, I still do the work. So just like, and I say the work, just like when you have to brush your teeth every day and floss and do laundry, these are the things in life that never end. And weight loss is actually something that never ends, because weight loss is actually a symptom. Weight gain is a symptom of unaddressed emotional issues. And so in this episode, I really wanted to look at debunking what's really required for permanent weight loss. It's what's really required for how is someone like me, who all through perimenopause and menopause has lost over 50 pounds and kept it off. On my 52nd birthday, I just tried on my wedding dress and I weigh 12 pounds less than I did on my wedding. And my wedding weight, I thought, was amazing and incredible. And I was even able to wear the dress I wore to my sister's wedding as her bridesmaid when I was 16, building on these pillars that I didn't know that was even possible. Because you're at my podcast, I have some ideas that you know a little bit about how the brain works. You probably have some ideas about how emotions play in. And especially working with women on emotional eating, there's a lot of, when I start sharing some of these tools, they get so much clarity. I have a how to stop emotional eating class. And one of the ladies that came on, she said, I am really good all day, but by the end of the day, I just need that baked good. It's usually a cookie, she said. And she went to Weight Watchers in 2020 and lost 30 pounds. And then she's put on 20 in a year. And I said to her, what if we never talked about weight loss? Let's say, she said, my life is really great. I'm retired. I have all sorts of time. I can do all sorts of things, but that whole cookie every day, and I just can't quit it. I can't stop it. She's out of control. So I said to her, what if we never coached on weight loss? What if we just said, actually, that's a really healthy weight for you? What would we have to actually resolve? What would we have to work through? And that's the problem, right? Because weight loss keeps us over here saying, once I lose that weight, then I can do more. We started discovering some of her challenges where she is retired. She doesn't really know how to use her time well. And when she doesn't use it very well, she gets really mad at herself. And then she has all that negative self-talk. And so she just stays in this different, it's almost like a different radio waves, right? Like different energy of, I just got to get through my day, and using that willpower. So she's not allowing herself to open up to, I need to be messy at figuring out what my schedule looks like. And she worked her way up. She's a single woman and very effective, very efficient in her job. She got lots of promotions and worked her way up. And so Now she's working for herself and she has lots of fabric. She has lots of projects, but she's not getting it done. And then I asked her, I said, well, what if it's like the same thing if you went to a fabric shop and you said, I'm not going to buy anything before. And then you go to the fabric shop and then do you buy the stuff? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, why did you do that? And she goes, because it was so pretty and I liked it. And so the more that we can understand what's really going on, the less we waste our time and energy on diets and apps and really look at, oh, I don't want to feel sad that I can't buy, that I'm not buying this fabric. I don't want to feel upset that I'm not very good at using my time. So if I use my time better, then I could make things faster and I could enjoy my life more. I'd rather just blame my hormones. So this is why I'm making this special episode on Christmas. And one of the things in this course, the How to Stop Emotional Eating, Conquer Emotional Eating, one of the biggest patterns of the women that I've been working with them is loneliness. And so food has such an emotional attachment. We've been talking about that as we go through this podcast. But there's a loneliness. And so maybe every day, some baked good that signifies back in the day, that connection with her family, and she lives on her own. I have lots of clients that tell me all sorts of stories of sitting on the back porch with their dad, eating that chocolate chip cookie or the ice cream, or having that real strong connection. And the more that we can understand what's really, really involved with weight loss, the more that we can use our time. And I know you like being efficient with your time. We can use it wisely. And, we have lots of distractions. And so how do we find ourselves being distracted less and making new habits? So I often use the example of a dirt road with the ruts. And when you think about driving on a road that has these really deep ruts, or even think about if you were in the top of a mountain and you skied down that mountain and went on those skis, that is now a very, those skis, those imprints are a very strong pattern. And we know that water always follows the path of least resistance. And our brains, they are always looking for efficiencies. That's what habits are. Habits are saying, oh, I notice this person does this over and over, and I'm going to just automate it. So we understand this really well when it comes to driving. And I've used this example a lot, probably because I have been in the process of teaching my kids how to drive. And it always amazes me. They have been in a car their whole lives. They have been driven around their whole lives. And when it's finally time for them to go behind the wheel, it is alarming. It's like my right side, I put my hands here. I'm going to put my blinker on. I need to start slowing down. So take my foot off the gas, start putting my foot on the brake. And they have to talk through every single part of it. It is painful because my brain just knows what to do. It's been automated. And so when they learn to drive, eventually, just like my brain, they will learn and it will become automated. Now, do we have some bad habits that are automated? 100%. Do we need to, and this is the part where no matter what kind of app you have, no matter what kind of diet, no matter how good you are at following a list, it will not move the dial. It will not change. It will work for maybe a little bit, but then we have that old habit of when I'm sad, I go to the chocolate chip cookie. When I'm disappointed, I like to distract myself with shopping. That is a pattern that we actually have to go down into the subconscious and change it. So when I made this, I'm making this for you, and I'm thinking about Christmas, and I'm thinking about all of these subconscious patterns. I'm thinking about all the times in your life where we created these bad habits and where they came from. And you're valuable and worthy with all your bad habits. You were just someone trying to do the best you could. And you don't beat yourself up. In fact, I'm going to just share a little insight from one of the calls I had with how to stop your overeating, conquer emotional eating over the holidays. And this one participant, she goes for coffee. She lives in a small town and goes for coffee with her friends. And they all exercise together, and then they all go for coffee, and they usually commiserate about how much weight they have to lose. And then they end up they complain about it and commiserate and say, oh yeah, this is so hard. But then they start eating chocolate. And I asked her, I said, if you didn't eat the chocolate, how would you feel? And she said, well, I feel so much better. I said, but would you feel risk that you could get kicked out of the tribe? That they would judge you? And then I gave some other examples where I said, and this client in particular has never had childbirth. And I said, well, they started talking about the childbirth stories and you couldn't participate, would they kick you out of the tribe? And then, I thought of some other examples of, would you get kicked out of the tribe if you didn't, like if everyone had a cat and you didn't, would you feel like you could be part of that? And so as we start cracking this code, right, of what's really going on, and as we start interrupting these habits, or I like to think about putting the shovel full of dirt on these ruts, we start seeing, oh, these are some really unhealthy patterns that I didn't realize how unhealthy I was. Another member in the How to Conquer Emotional Eating, she printed off the pages, the workbook, got it coil bound, and she was really excited about it. And then she started having a dilemma between, do I use the pencil? Because if I make mistakes, I can erase it. But I really like this pen. So then she's falling into the perfectionist, all or nothing, which is a very big theme that I work with my clients. And so because they have so much fear of making a mistake and being rejected, they get distracted by food and say, but if I just have to lose weight first, and then I'll take care of that. All right. So I wanted to share with you this very special edition of permanent weight loss. So what's really required for weight loss? It's learning how to really see what's going on inside of our brain and inside of our heart and inside of our body, because our brain and our bodies are connected. They just are. Our thoughts create our feelings. So our thought comes and then we have a reaction. So the more that you can be with yourself and be more of an observer of yourself, an observer of those patterns, that's when you can get real change. And that's what we do in the coaching calls. Until my client said, oh, well, I go to coffee with the ladies and then we talk about how much weight we have to lose and then we eat chocolate. She didn't realize that if she changed and actually lost a bunch of weight, she thought that they might reject her. So as you think about 2026 coming up, the new year, and as you think about what do you really, really want, in order to have real change, we have to be willing to go inside and figure out where are all those pitfalls, where are all those thoughts that are going to keep me stuck. And the more that you can do that in a safe environment and watch other people do that, the happier and healthier you're going to be. I promise. It's amazing. It is why I have been able to lose 50 pounds and keep it off. And every day I go on the scale and I get feedback. And every day I now become my own expert. And I can even play this game where I say, I think I'm going to be this weight today. And I'm pretty accurate for the most part, because now I'm not afraid of food. I'm not afraid of my body. I'm not afraid of my scale. I'm not afraid of those pants in the back of my closet that, those pants or that black dress that if I can wear that, then I'm going to be good. Then everything will be better. It's not true. But when we can have the real picture, the real honesty, get to the root of what's really going on, that's when we get actual transformation that's going to make all the difference. And it's that switch in my head that said, oh, I don't have to prove my worth to be this way. Now I'm going to tell a little story. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to do it anyway. So for those people who are watching my YouTube, I have a black. Does anyone know what this is? I know it's really embarrassing. It's a girdle. Okay. It's a black girdle. And when I would go to my family events, Christmas Eve in particular, I wanted to look really good. And every year I promised myself, I'm going to be able to wear those jeans. And I had those jeans. We all have those jeans. I'm going to be able to wear those jeans to my dad's house. And everyone's going to be there and they're going to be so proud of me. And I'm going to feel so good about myself. And I'm going to feel like $1,000,000. And I had such great intentions. And I tried so many times. And I worked so hard. And I had such a desire to be wearing those jeans and to feel that, to take care of myself, not only just for the vanity, but I wanted to feel really good about how I was taking care of myself, being a good steward of my body. And so one year, despite all my efforts, I just couldn't wear those jeans and I just felt so bad about myself. So I don't like malls. I went to the mall with my daughter at Christmas. I kind of got her distracted and then I bought this thing kind of secretly and I wore that girdle to Christmas Eve. And it was about an hour and a half drive there, an hour and a half drive back, and the whole night there. And the whole time, I just felt so ashamed of myself. I wasn't really enjoying. I tried, but there was always that shadow of you're not good enough because you're not wearing those jeans. And what I really needed was I just needed to have a lot more compassion. I needed to have a lot more understanding. I needed to not be so afraid of my own body and what was going on. I needed to embrace what I was trying to make food mean for me and how I was trying to use food to fill in the gaps, the voids of my life. And it's because I didn't know how to have those conversations. I didn't know how to feel those feelings. I didn't trust myself to feel and to work through all those struggles. I felt like I had so much pressure. Me raising 5 kids, my husband works a ton. All those expectations of perfectionist puts on herself, and the business that I was growing, and being super mom to my kids, doing all the things, working in my church, volunteering, doing all that. And you know what? That popcorn at the dollar store was a better choice than the chocolate bar, but eating an entire bag of smart food, not helpful. And it didn't even give me the results that I wanted. So my Christmas wish for you is to give yourself that gift of permanent weight loss so that you aren't putting on the girdle and feeling uncomfortable and not truly connecting to your family members, not truly connecting with the season, and always looking over your shoulder thinking someone judging me. And the only reason you're doing that is because you're judging yourself. And this is what I do in my lifetime membership program, Love Yourself Thin. You learn all the tools that make change. Now, if you want to have a sample, I have a class that I'm teaching in January on how to make goals and how to do those out of love. It is actually the same class that I'm doing inside my program. So whether you can buy that program, which will be awesome, or you can be in my program, which you pay once and you get for life. You can just do it with us in the Love Yourself Thin. All right. I get to go pick up my son from school now. But it has just been so much fun to have this experience of sharing this on my YouTube and on my podcast. And I just want you to know that your worth as a human, despite all the best efforts of all the marketing in all the world, actually has nothing to do with what your physical body looks like, how tall you are, what kind of hair you have, what size of pants you wear. Your worth is already set. It's already there. You don't have to prove yourself or do anything to prove it. And it would just be an honor for me if you resonate with what I'm saying. If this really gets you here, I encourage you to take action. You are your greatest gift. I actually do have a member who husband did buy her my program for her birthday, and she's lost, I think, 50 pounds. She's not able to really come to the calls because of her work schedule, but she gets so much out of the program because it's all there. And she needs to ask a coach and get that help. She does. And she has internalized these goals and has been doing this work now for 4 years. And it's incredible to see her results. So I would love that for you too. All right. All the best in the season. And I can't wait to see you in the next year. If you know what you should do, but you can't figure out why you keep falling short, that's the dilemma, isn't it? You have all the knowledge, you know the steps, but something keeps you from following through. That's exactly what we resolve in Love Yourself Thin, my lifetime membership for quilters and creatives, because you don't have a knowledge problem, you have a thinking problem, and that's what we're here to solve. When you join Love Yourself Thin, you get lifetime access to the tools to help you understand why you do what you do so you can finally create permanent weight loss. No more frustration, no more wondering what's wrong with you, just real transformation from the inside out. You can learn more and join at www.darathomason.com. This is where the real work happens. Can't wait to see you there.